Welcome to the Salt Lake City Airport. Today is Tuesday, February 15th. It is 3:45 p.m. I'm getting ready to depart Salt Lake City. I'm going to have a connecting flight in Denver before going back to Cleveland. But first, just like I did on my way here, figured I would give a little tour of the airport, this time the Salt Lake Airport. You can see on the right side here, right when you walk in past TSA, you've got a CNBC shop. Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. I love these two bears they have here. This one's actually themed for Valentine's Day, which was yesterday. And then you've also got this bear over here, which is like a captain's pilot getting ready to fly. So this artwork, the benches in the canyon, I wonder if that's referring to the artwork that's above us, like the benches over there, and then maybe that's the canyon. That would make sense. I just posted some videos related to Bryce Canyon and Zion National Park. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and look at my recent videos on the channel. You've also got Granado's Gourmet Market here. And Starbucks. Before I go through the rest of the airport though, let me look at the food places that are on the right side here. By the way, I love the atrium that they have here when you come in. It's always like a scenic and calming, walking through a tunnel but with some contour and texture. You've got a Panda Express, and then there's also a F&E gelato, desserts, macaroon, breakfast, pastries, and tarts. And then you've got a Shake Shack and a Pizzeria Limon. I actually tried Shake Shack for the very first time right before this video. Ordered a burger and fries. And I would say the burger was pretty good. Fries they were like crinkle fries, but they were very generic. There was nothing memorable about them at all. And then I'd also gone to Panera Bread for a quick dessert. Right now we're in the A gates. That's the gates you hit when you first come into the airport. This whole airport that you're seeing right now is very new, I would say within the past year and a half to 2 years. Oh, I just got a message that the transmission is weak. Hopefully the transmission gets better. I tested it just beforehand and it was pretty good signal. Lots of spots here to just sit down. They had a giant Christmas tree in this atrium back in December. Talmadge Kelly says it's clear for me. Thanks for tuning in. Beautiful day outside, about 48 degrees. Lots of more construction still going on at the airport. I think they're going to add a couple more either concourses or terminals. What is this piano here for? Enjoy a little light music before your next flight. Airport invites passengers to tickle the ivories for everyone's enjoyment. Well, if I knew how to play piano, that would be interesting to try out, but my brother would be more apt to doing that. Phase 2 coming in 2023 to 24. So an expanded Concourse A. I think they're going to expand Concourse A further on that direction. Yeah, actually you see the building out there? That's not open to anyone right now, so looks like they're going to be expanding that. More gates, more restaurants, more shops, more to come. Let's see if they tell you what more about the new phase. Or is it just the same phrases that I saw? If I can zoom in here. So the orange part, terminal and Concourse A, that's the part that's complete right now. Phase 2 is gonna be the green part. They're working on that. That green tunnel should exist already, although it says future passenger tunnel. You know what? Actually, so that green tunnel does not exist right now. It's this yellow tunnel that exists. It connects Concourse A to Concourse B. And the only part of Concourse B currently done is this small portion. So I guess Phase 3 and Phase 4, they're going to make Concourse B bigger as well. So it appears that they're going to be, based on the color map, doubling the size of the airport in terms of gates. There's Rooster's Bar over there. And then a beer bistro and bites, also part of Rooster's. All the shops in the concourses are very modern, and so far to date I have not seen anything like what you would call generic fast food restaurants, like no McDonald's, no Burger King, no Taco Bell, no Wendy's, no, not even a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A I would think is maybe a middle ground, but they don't have that. The only chain places I've seen for food options are like Shake Shack. Somewhere else there's another place. I think it's called Burger. It's Burger something, I forget though. And then Panera Bread, Starbucks. So it feels like they went for a more upscale dining options. You can see the concourse is very wide and spacious. Everything looks modern. If you compare it to some of the other airports, you probably know what I'm referring to if you've been to them. This is my favorite place to stop by before going to the B gates usually. Grab some quick dessert items at Panera Bread. Now I don't know how good the signal is going to be when I take the tunnel to go from the Concourse A to Concourse B. Look at it, even the Hudson newsstand is branded as something more upscale. Because we're going underground when we get to the B gates, the connection possibly could be next to nothing, but I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi is still strong there. I did do a tunnel walk on a pre-recorded video once before showing the length of the tunnel. So if this live stream happens to cut out, hopefully you still enjoyed the tour of the A gates. Visit Salt Lake. iStore for electronics. I like the mural in Bruges Belgian Bistro. Okay, so they do have a Cafe Rio. It's kind of a fast food place. And the Welcome to Salt Lake City sign in the background there. Let me see if I can get up close on that Salt Lake City sign. That's pretty cool. Oh, so I just came from St. George the other day. Looks like they've got a temple, some mountains, probably the arches in Moab, Capitol building, and downtown Salt Lake City, St. George, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho, California. Wonder why they're showing all the other states. And the seed just says avocado, vegetables. Nice artwork though. See an example of what the gates look like. If you're at A15, it shows you Seattle, the flight number, status on time. Nice and high up in the air so you can see the gates and the destinations from a distance. Forgot if I mentioned, but my connecting flight to Denver boards in a little under an hour now. There's Express Spa, where you can get a spa. They used to do COVID checks, but it looks like they've rebranded to giving massages now. Beans and Brew Coffee House. And this would be the tunnel to get to the B gates. First I want to do a little walk around to see what the rest of the A gates look like, because I actually haven't been down this way myself. I usually just go straight to the B gates. Garbanzo, Mediterranean fresh food. Very small desert news. Let's take one of these for the fun of it. Lots of Delta flights seem to be utilizing these gates. Interesting, I know a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago, it was announced that Spirit Airlines was going to be starting to come to Salt Lake City Airport for the first time, but then about a week ago it was announced that Frontier and Spirit are merging later this year. I assume there'll still be an expansion of services at the airport though. See another Starbucks, got a KSL bookshop. Oh, see, I didn't know they had this here, a Lego toy store. Usually the Lego store is just a small kiosk.
Salt Lake City Airport is smoke-free. Passengers wishing to smoke must exit the airport in virtual designated smoke area inside. Thank you.
Yeah, usually when I've seen Lego features at the airport, it's like a small kiosk in the middle, operated by, you know, like the kiosk you would see in a shopping mall, as opposed to a dedicated store. Not sure if I'm going to do a live stream in Denver later or not. I'm debating it. I'll get to Denver around 7 p.m. And if I decide to take the train to go to downtown Denver, which I did once before back in November, I think. It's about a 35-minute train ride. So by the time I got to downtown, it'd probably be around 8 o'clock, 8:30. And I just don't know how active it may be like Deadsville. And I did cover that on a pre-recorded video once before. Like I said, that was featuring Christmas decorations and sports arenas. I have that video on my channel from November if you want to check that out. But I'll see if I do a live stream there or not. Central Point Market. Looks like at the very, very end here we've got some hanging artwork in the ceiling. Also California's Pizza Kitchen. Didn't know they had that as an option here. And here's the gates A1 through A6. Let's see the flying artwork hanging from the ceiling. Looks like earliest innovations. I wonder if any of them are supposed to be portraying the Wright brothers. And then this one up here. This one's just a solo flyer. So that was a nice little walk to the end of the A gates. Like I said, I didn't know they had the rest of these shops that they did and that artwork that I just pointed out. Looks like on this side of California Pizza Kitchen they also have some type of artwork. Let me try to peek at what that is. Forgot to point out over there, Beecher's handmade cheese. Interesting. Dedicated cheese option. Oh, well, I was way too close when I flipped it around. And now I will head down to the B gates. Fingers crossed that the reception holds up. But while I'm making my walk back there, let me repeat what I've done since coming to Salt Lake over the past week and a half. Of course, the mayor of Salt Lake has to be speaking over the intercom as I'm, or loudspeaker as I'm trying to talk. Hopefully you can still hear me. I did a 2.5 hour live stream in Layton, Utah because I wanted to test how the internet connection was. And it lasted the whole time. So that was a fun walk to do. As I was telling other people, maybe not the most scenic walk because a lot of the walk I'm walking down very long, spread out roads. But it was a good test and there were some interesting things still to point out and see. I did not get to Ogden to do a live stream. Thinking I may want to wait till the weather is a little warmer because I want to capture it when there's more people out. It's always fun to show cities when it's busier and more active. And then I was in downtown Salt Lake City earlier today before coming to the airport for about an hour and a half, but I decided not to do a live stream just because I thought it would be too rushed. If I do a live stream in downtown Salt Lake City, I want to pace myself, take my time, show things slowly and methodically, and not just be like blowing through everything. I'll reserve that for another day. What else? So that's about the cities in Salt Lake. But what I did do a lot for the channel was we went to Bryce National Park on Saturday, then Zion National Park on Sunday, with some stops along the way in Springdale, Utah and St. George, Utah. So between live streams, I think I did 3 live streams during that span, and also 2 pre-recorded videos that show some high quality footage of the national parks in general. So feel free to check some of that out if you haven't already. And now we are back at the tunnel just in time. Isn't it nice? They timed the commentary well. So for the gates, if you're going from A to B, you've got 1 escalator going down to the B gates and 2 escalators coming up from the B gates. And we'll see how the reception holds up down here. So if there are people who can't walk very well, they do have an airport tunnel shuttle here. So if someone's in need of assistance to get through the tunnel, they can't walk this long distance, that service is available. The sign claims that it's a 7-minute walk to B. When I timed this on my pre-recorded video a couple months ago, I think I completed the walk in about 4 minutes. Now, rather than showing the tunnel itself straight on, I'm going to try to do my best to show the artwork that's on the wall here. This is the summer mural from 2020. It has a lot of animals. The mural, I think, spans several seasons. So like I said, this one's the summer mural. Wonder if they'll ever put a mural on the other side. That's the end of the summer mural. Then you've got the autumn mural, both by the same artist. Got acorns and birds. Just pulling over for a second. We'll let some people pass by. There you go. I didn't want to be slowing them up. They're like the squirrel diving for the acorn there. So far, so good for the reception. While I'm at it, something I forgot to... I didn't get a chance to video record it because it's right next to TSA, but you know how TSA, they don't allow you to bring water bottles with liquid in them. You can bring empty water bottles through TSA. So I'm usually very good about emptying my bottle out, but usually I have to, as we get to the winter snowscape. This one is a different artist, I believe, for the winter snowscape. But yeah, usually when I get to the airport, like if I have a big water bottle, I will, on my way to the airport, I'll leave like a tiny bit of water in it so I can drink it on the way to the airport. And then when I get to the airport, if there's any water left, I'll just drink the rest of it and then go through the line. But what I like about the Salt Lake Airport is right before you enter the TSA gates, like literally right before and at the gates, they have two dumping water stations, meaning it's looks like a water fountain, but it's not dispensing any water. You just take your water bottle and empty it into there. So I think that's very convenient, because if you forgot or you just had too much water in, as this one's called In Bloom, so interesting, they don't call it spring. This one is still representing spring, but they just called it In Bloom. Yeah, I like that feature with the water bottle, and so far I think that's the only airport I've seen it at. Granted, you could just walk to a bathroom or a restroom prior to going to TSA and empty it in there. But there's a greater convenience factor how they have it set up here. Alright, so that is the end of the B-Gate tunnel. See? You see the tunnel now behind me with all the artwork. No artwork on that side though. And then you also have just one escalator going up and two escalators going down. I should check some of my previous videos to see if it's always like that, or if they ever change the middle escalator. Yeah. I'm not sure if they ever change the middle escalator to show, you know, go in a different direction depending on whether there's more planes entering or departing. I don't think they have a stationary staircase, but based on that phase 2023-2024 thing that we saw earlier, there should be another tunnel being constructed. I wonder if they'll make it a walking tunnel again, or if they'll have a train that takes you from one tunnel to another. Okay. I'll start by going. Let's see, this is a longer walk going this way. My gate is actually behind me, but that'll make more sense when I end the video closer to my gate. So I'll go this way first. See gate B14 for San Francisco, B11 across the way for Phoenix. Somewhere there should be international flights. I know I've seen them in the past, but this is an big international airport. Just haven't come across them, or maybe I haven't been paying attention. Although looking in the distance, I just see Phoenix, Oakland, Denver. Where the heck are the international ones? Maybe they're early morning or later in the day. There's the electronics store again. Briggs & Riley. Pickup sticks, fresh Asian flavors. I don't think I pointed out before, they have a lot of these departure and kiosk here throughout the airport.
The Salt Lake City Airport is smoke-free. Passengers wishing to smoke must exit.
Thanks to anyone who is watching this live stream. You know, airports may not be the most fascinating subject, but hey, I love creating content, killing time, and exploring no matter where I am. So I know my other clips were exploring more interesting things like national parks, but why not explore an airport too, right? It looks like these are our final 3 places as far as shops or restaurants go. We've got, oh, how do you even pronounce that? U-I-N-T-A? I was going to say unit at first, but then, no, it's a U-I-N. Is it like a, I don't even know how to guess it, this pronunciation of that. Something Brewing. Uinta Brewing, maybe that's it. Uinta Brewing. Guess this one's an advertising thing. I didn't know. I haven't seen this before. It also shows you kind of a map, like where you are right now and where the gates are. That's pretty cool. There's a Maverick store and just a Utah store. It just says Utah. Mavericks. I like the decorations inside with the tree and the mountain landscape. What do we have here? So this is just the end for now. I think in the future we'll see an expansion going that way. So now let's go back the other direction. Actually, I should check my flight too to Denver. How is it doing? Denver, Frontier, still on time. Okay. It has not snowed whatsoever since I've been in Salt Lake.
6 prospect agents to Bravo 17, 6 prospects agents to Bravo 17.
But then, of course, shortly after my plane departs, it's supposed to be snow later tonight. I haven't checked the Denver forecast yet. See what that's going to be in a couple hours there. I definitely know Frontier is in the B gates, but I also see United and American Airlines. I'm not re-showing the stuff on the right side since we already talked about that and went past it when I was coming this way. But we're getting closer to where that tunnel was, so then I can cover the rest of the gates and shops. It's going to time up nicely for my boarding time too. It's already 4:20, so that now, instead of sitting around for maybe an hour, hour and a half, it'll be maybe just sitting around for a half hour. Talmud says Uinta. It's the name of the specific strip of mountains of the Rockies on the western side of the Utah Valley, if I remember correctly. Thanks a lot for that insight. Much appreciated. Oh, I missed this initially. Gourmandise Euro Diner and Bakery. That seems to be pretty popular. There's At Ease. It's like a clothing shop. Yeah, that makes sense now that you say it, that it's pronounced U, you know, with a stress on the U. Took me a while to come close to figuring it out. Liberty Park Market. Every time I see this place, I get confused and I'm thinking of a nice spot in San Diego I know of called Liberty Public Market, but I know that's completely unrelated to it. Hip and humble. Well, there is Denver in the background. That's where I'll be boarding in about a half hour. Just decided to come over here to show some of the mountains and sky and just the general operations of the airport, like the walkways that take you to the plane, an American airline plane. Maybe that one's getting ready to take off over there. With just a little bit more to go here, and then we'll wrap things up. Joshua Davidson says, I haven't been to the Salt Lake Airport since it was remodeled. It looks totally different. You're not kidding about that. My first time back here since the pandemic was, I think, when was it? I think it was June. It was either late June or early July 2021. There's the Salt Lake Tribune. But when I got here, I was thinking to myself, like, what the F? Because I knew they were remodeling the airport, but I had been here like 3 other times before that, I think. So I was pretty familiar with how the airport looked previously. And I thought there would be like a slight change. Instead, it was like a complete overhaul, like 100% different. So I was even like going back to some of my old footage, not that I had published on my channel, but that I had personally taken. This is Smash Burger. That's the other burger place I was thinking of earlier instead of Shake Shack. I had gotten their food here 2 or 3 times in the past. It's pretty good. But yeah, so when I saw the change last year, I was like, whoa, like it's completely different. At first I thought it was like, okay, maybe I'm just in a new concourse, but I'm showing literally the whole airport that's accessible right now. There is no other parts. We've covered it all. The only thing that's somewhat similar is before you pass through TSA, some of that is the same. But if you check out some of my previous videos where I showed how to gain access to the green line tracks when you're leaving the airport, that is somewhat similar but also remodeled. But if you're familiar with the airport, that's the only place you'll see some familiarity. But there's also a ton of renovations in that part too, like the baggage claim area or just departing the airport in general. So yeah, that is a full tour once you pass TSA at the Salt Lake City Airport. So thank you for tuning in. And like I said, I might do something in Denver later. If you're interested, feel free to check out the channel. Otherwise, if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Feel free to leave a comment below, and we will see you next time.